Breaking news tonight. More problems surrounding APD's defunct DNA crime lab. Tonight, concerns that some rape kits may be compromised after they're found covered in mold.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Quita Culpepper.
And I'm Mike Rush. Terry Gruca is off this week. Breaking tonight, new questions about how Austin police have handled sensitive evidence, this time involving hundreds of sexual assault kits.
City documents say 850 of those kits were found with mold growing on the boxes. And now officials are trying to learn if that could have possibly ruined the DNA evidence they contained. Tony Plahetsky is live from APD headquarters, and they just wrapped up a press conference on that issue. Tony?
Well, Mike and Quita, officials here say that none of those samples were so damaged that officials were unable to get DNA evidence from them, but testing of those kits is still underway. Now, this comes at a time when both city officials as well as department officials are trying to restore the public's confidence in how APD handles forensic evidence. Now, according to city memos, workers reported mold in a sexual assault kit in April that was sent to a private lab for testing. APD then found mold inside a refrigerator housing about 1,600 untested kits dating back to the 1990s. Of those, about 850 were found to have mold on the outside. But Interim Police Chief Brian Manley emphasizes they've tested more than 1,000 kits and found them to be free of mold.
What I want to make sure doesn't get lost is that we have had well over 1,000 kits tested from that refrigerator with no reports of mold inside those kits.
Officials emphasize that evidence from these kits have not been used to convict any defendant in a sexual assault case. Now, the department has been working for nearly a year to test thousands of sexual assault kits as part of a backlog that has impacted most of the state. Last June, APD also closed its own lab after a state audit found problems with its standards and staff training. Now, in this latest issue involving the sexual assault kits, the Texas Forensic Science Commission is now working with APD, which has also reached out to experts from across the country to talk to them about how to prevent mold from getting in these kits and what happens if it does. Live at APD headquarters, Tony Plahetsky, KVUE News.
A big decision coming up for voters in November that'll decide whether or not to approve a more than $1 billion Austin ISD bond package. The district's Board of Trustees called for the bond during last night's meeting. Members say it will modernize or build 16 new schools with that money. KVUE's Rebecca Trejo is live at Austin ISD headquarters with details. Rebecca?
Austin ISD has gotten a lot of input from parents, teachers, administrators, and taxpayers. Some of them want the bond passed, yet others say they have issues with how the bond will be funded. Now, either way, Austin ISD schools have some infrastructure issues. Principal Eliza Loyola says there are many physical issues with Menchaca Elementary School.
The needs of this building include a new roof, new electrical, new plumbing, new HVAC system.
Parents point out the issues too.
Ceilings falling over, leakage, because the building really is very old.
It is why Austin ISD has chosen it as one of 16 schools to undergo major changes. That is, if voters approve a $1.05 billion bond in November. Superintendent Paul Cruz and the district say the basis for the bond recommendation is the facilities master plan, which the district has been working on for years.
They looked at the conditions of our facilities and they looked about the educational opportunities across our sites. They also looked at overcrowding. They looked at out-year data.
AISD says the tax rate will not increase, but taxpayers like Roger Falk, who's an analyst for the Travis County Taxpayers Union, says they're taking a closer look at funding.
They need to tell the average homeowner what their payment is, not smoke and mirrors and subterfuge that says, well, the tax rate won't go up or this, that. How much is it going to cost us?
This is how the district says the bond will be funded, a borrow and repay as you go financial model like a credit card. The district says bond approval is like increasing the credit limit, and it doesn't mean they'll be pulling all the money right away. District leaders say if voters approve, all AISD schools would receive some portion of the bond money. In Austin, Rebecca Trejo, KVUE News.
Daytime heating allowing for widely scattered showers and thunderstorms to develop. Once again, some of the heaviest activity focused to the south of Austin. You can see how this activity is popping up here and there. Heaviest right now in Caldwell County between Lockhart and Luling. This thunderstorm coming in with some heavy rainfall around Martindale and also the San Marcos area shortly as this thunderstorm is moving off towards the west at about 25 miles per hour. So that's probably going to put it in San Marcos by about say 5:20 as it continues to move off to the west. Nothing severe. And also some pop-up showers developing in the southern areas of Travis County. South Austin also moving off towards the west. We'll keep the rain chance around through the late evening. Hot and humid and a drier weather pattern starting tomorrow. And not only is the heat going up, but the heat index. We have that forecast for you coming up.
Thanks, Albert. The invasive zebra mussels have made their way into Lake Travis. Biologists confirmed the presence of the invasive species last week after seeing a single one attached to the motor of a boat. KVUE's Brandon Jones joins us live from Lake Travis. And Brandon, this is really a huge concern.
Yeah, it is, Queenie, primarily for one reason here, because these zebra mussels can spread quickly and attach themselves to pipes that carry water, and then that water can become constricted here. Right now, it's still early to tell just how bad things will get right here at Lake Travis, but we do have a few facts for you this afternoon here. These zebra mussels, they usually live in fresh water and can be transported from waterway to waterway by boats and trailers. They grow to a maximum adult size of about a ½ inch and can be identified by their striped zebra-like shell. Now, they can cover shoreline rocks, litter beaches with sharp shells here, and they can actually clog public water intakes. The best advice here is to clean your boat when removing it from the lake. Now, as of right now, there have been no live zebra mussels in any of the other Highland lakes. If you see one, officials want you to report it. Snap a photo right away to let them know here. Now, coming up tonight at 6, we're going to be talking to boaters about who they feel is responsible for these zebra mussels here. We're live here at Lake Travis. Brandon Jones, KVUE News.
Thanks, Brandon. The Mexican government says it will file a form of affidavit expressing concern over Texas SB 4, the Sanctuary Cities law. The filing is meant to help legal efforts to stop the law from taking effect in September. A federal judge in San Antonio is reviewing the constitutionality of the law, which allows police officers to question people about their immigration status during routine stops.
A vote on the Republican health care bill will not happen until after the 4th of July recess. Republicans had made promises that there could be a vote sometime this week, but with Democrats united in opposition, the GOP could only afford to lose 2 votes. Today, 6 Republicans are on the record saying they cannot support this bill, and some Republicans threatened to take it even farther by preventing it from going up for debate on the Senate floor.
We will not be on the bill this week, but we're still working toward getting at least 50 people in a comfortable place.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates 22 million more Americans will become uninsured over the next decade under the GOP plan, 15 million more uninsured next year alone. Former First Lady Michelle Obama will be returning to Austin later this year. It's for a tech conference hosted by social media software company Spreadfast. She'll be taking part in a moderated conversation at the event. The conference will take place at the W Hotel on October 16th through the 18th.